First contact shock. The crystalline spires of the Lysarian exploration vessel, Harmonious Discovery, glittered in the starlight as it drifted through the unexplored sector of the Orion Spur. Grand Navigator Ilara Tain Shell stood at the observation deck, her 6 iridescent eyes scanning the cosmic tapestry before her. The Lysarians had spent millennia perfecting their biomechanical technology, creating vessels that were as much alive as they were machine. The Harmonious Discovery represented the pinnacle of their achievement, a perfect fusion of organic and synthetic components designed for peaceful exploration. Grand Navigator called Science Director Zoran, his voice melodic with the characteristic Lysarian harmonics. Our sensors have detected an anomaly at coordinates 87 to 300 and 3542. It appears to be a vessel, though its configuration matches nothing in our archives. Ilara's bioluminescent patterns shifted from serene blue to curious purple along her silvery skin. In 3 centuries of exploration, the Lysarians had cataloged every known spacefaring species in this arm of the galaxy. An unknown vessel could only mean one thing: first contact with a previously undiscovered civilization. Approach with caution, maximum sensor sweep, she ordered, her 4 arms making the ceremonial gesture of peaceful intent. Engage translation matrices and prepare the standard greeting protocols. As the Harmonious Discovery altered its course, the main viewer crystallized to reveal the mysterious vessel. Collective gasps echoed across the command chamber as the image clarified. The unknown ship bore no resemblance to the elegant flowing lines of Lysarian vessels, nor to the geometric precision of the Kulari, nor even the biological constructs of the Vrex hive. This ship was brutal, angular, utilitarian. Its hull was pockmarked with damage, scorched black in places with what could only be weapons fire. Exposed internal structures revealed hasty repairs, and various components jutted out at awkward angles. Most disturbing was the unmistakable presence of weapons, not defensive systems, but actual offensive weaponry, something the peaceful Lysarians had abandoned millennia ago. Life signs, Ilara inquired, her skin now pulsing with cautious amber. Affirmative, responded Zoran. Carbon-based organisms, approximately 200 individuals. Their power signature is unusual, primarily fusion-based with elements our sensors cannot identify. He paused, his own bioluminescence flickering with uncertainty. They appear to be operating on emergency power. Several sections of their vessel show vacuum exposure. Ilara contemplated this information. Whatever this vessel was, it appeared to be in distress. Lysarian ethics were clear. All life deserved assistance, regardless of origin. Open communications on all common frequencies, she commanded. Send standard greeting package. For several moments, there was no response. Then the communication array chimed. Incoming transmission, announced communications specialist Thela. Audio and visual. The central viewing crystal shimmered, and the Lysarians collectively recoiled. The being that appeared was utterly alien to them, bipedal, with only 2 eyes, no visible bioluminescence, and covered in some kind of synthetic material that appeared to be a uniform. Its face was rigid, displaying none of the fluid expressions the Lysarians used to communicate subtle meanings. This is Captain Alexandra Volkov of the United Earth Alliance warship Vengeance. The being spoke, its voice translated into the harmonic tones of Lysarian speech. Identify yourselves and state your intentions. Warship. The concept was almost incomprehensible to the Lysarians. Ships were for exploration, for scientific discovery, for cultural exchange, not war. Ilara stepped forward, deliberately projecting calm blue patterns across her skin. I am Grand Navigator Ilara Tain Shell of the Lysarian Harmonies vessel Harmonious Discovery. We are peaceful explorers charting this sector. Your vessel appears damaged. We offer assistance in the spirit of cooperation. The human captain's face remained largely impassive, though subtle movements suggested what the Lysarian translation matrix interpreted as skepticism or caution. Peaceful intentions acknowledged. Captain Volkov finally responded. However, be advised that we are a military vessel currently engaged in active operations against a hostile force. Your presence here is unexpected. Military vessel, active operations, hostile force. Each concept landed like a physical blow in the Lizarian consciousness. Captain, Ilara ventured, our scans indicate your ship has sustained significant damage. We possess advanced repair technologies that we would gladly share. The Lizarian Harmony has encountered no hostile forces in this sector in all our centuries of exploration. A new expression crossed Volkov's face, something the translation matrix could not interpret. Then you've been fortunate, the human captain replied. The Scourge arrived in this sector approximately 3 Earth months ago. They've already consumed 2 colony worlds and destroyed 3 of our patrol vessels. We engaged a Scourge dreadnought 18 hours ago. The damage you detect is the result of that engagement. Science Director Zoran approached Ilara, speaking in low tones. Grand Navigator, our databases contain no record of either humans or this Scourge. This suggests they operate far from our known territories or have deliberately avoided contact. Ilara acknowledged this with a subtle pulse of light before addressing the human again. Captain Volkov, we have no record of either human civilization or this Scourge in our extensive databases. We would be most interested in an exchange of information. Information exchange would be acceptable, Volkov responded. However, I must warn you, if you remain in this sector, you may encounter the Scourge. They do not negotiate. They do not communicate. They consume resources, including living beings, and move on. We've been fighting them for 2 years now. The concept of such an implacable enemy sent ripples of distress through the Lizarian command crew. Their society had known peace for so long that the very idea of such conflict seemed like a primitive nightmare. Perhaps, Ilara suggested, we could send a repair team to assist with your vessel while we exchange information. Our medical technologies might also be of benefit to your injured crew members. Captain Volkov seemed to consider this for a moment. Your offer is appreciated, but security protocols dictate caution with unknown species. Perhaps we could begin with a limited exchange. Our chief engineer could transmit our most critical needs, and you could advise on potential solutions. This is acceptable, Ilara agreed, recognizing the human's caution as prudent rather than offensive. As the transmission ended, navigation specialist Miller approached. Grand Navigator, I've completed a trajectory analysis of nearby stellar bodies. If this Scourge follows the path indicated by the human captain's report, they will encounter the Lizarian outer colonies within 6 standard cycles. The implications were clear and terrifying. If these humans spoke truth, the peaceful Lizarian civilization might soon face an enemy they were utterly unprepared to confront. Hours later, after initial data exchanges with the human vessel, the command crew gathered for assessment. The data they shared is disturbing, Science Director Zoran reported. These humans have provided historical records indicating they evolved as predator species on a high-gravity world with extreme climate variations. Their civilization developed through cycles of cooperation and conflict. They possess military technologies we've never conceived of, yet lag behind us in biological sciences and quantum mechanics. And this Scourge? Ilara inquired. If the human data is accurate, they appear to be a non-sentient collective organism that spreads through space, consuming all available resources. They adapt rapidly to new threats and have no discernible motivation beyond consumption and reproduction. Communications specialist Thela interjected. The humans have provided visual records of Scourge attacks. The imagery is, I lack words to describe it. These creatures show no mercy, no restraint. Ilara's bioluminescence dimmed with the gravity of their situation. Our civilization has known peace for so long that we have forgotten the meaning of existential threat. If the Scourge is real, and if they approach our territories, we face a danger we are unprepared for. There is another consideration, offered Medical Director Nishra. I've analyzed the human biological data. They evolved in an environment that required rapid healing and adaptation. Their bodies contain redundant systems. Their cellular structure can repair damage at rates that exceed our own, and their neural processing prioritizes threat assessment and response. They are, in essence, biologically optimized for survival in hostile conditions. You suggest we have something to learn from them, Ilara observed. I suggest they may represent exactly the ally we need against such a threat. The command chamber fell silent as each Lizarian contemplated this new reality. Their peaceful exploration had led them to the edge of a conflict they could scarcely comprehend, facing both a terrifying enemy and a potential ally whose very nature challenged their understanding of civilized existence. Prepare a comprehensive aid package for the human vessel, Ilara finally decided. Include medical supplies, repair nanites, and power cell technology. If we are to face this scourge, we must begin by building trust with those who have survived them. As the crew dispersed to their duties, Ilara remained on the observation deck, watching the damaged human warship. Its very existence represented concepts the Lizarians had long ago abandoned. Concepts of warfare, aggression, and survival at all costs. Yet in the face of the scourge, perhaps those forgotten concepts would prove necessary once more. The humans had named their vessel Vengeance, a concept so foreign to Lizarian thought that their translation matrix struggled to capture its full meaning. But as Ilara contemplated the battles that might lie ahead, she wondered if her people would soon understand that concept all too well. The power of humanity. 3 cycles had passed since the initial contact between the harmonious Discovery and the human warship Vengeance. What had begun as cautious communication had evolved into a tenuous partnership of necessity. Lizarian repair crews now worked alongside human engineers, their initial cultural shock giving way to professional curiosity. Grand Navigator Ilara Teen Shell floated through the central corridor of the human vessel, her gravitational stabilizers compensating for what the humans called artificial gravity, a concept that seemed needlessly energy-intensive to Lizarian sensibilities. She was accompanied by Captain Volkov, a human female whose stoic demeanor had gradually revealed subtle complexities. Your repair nanites have reduced our estimated repair time by 70%, Volkov acknowledged, gesturing toward a section where the microscopic machines were reconstructing damaged hull plating. Our engineers are impressed. Ilara's skin rippled with modest appreciation, a gesture lost on the human. And we have learned much from your adaptive power routing systems. The concept of sacrificing efficiency for redundancy is foreign to our engineering philosophy, yet clearly effective in combat conditions. They passed a chamber where off-world engineering specialist Revan was engaged in animated discussion with the human chief engineer, Commander Rodriguez. The human was gesturing emphatically at a holographic display of engine schematics, while Revan's skin flashed with patterns of intellectual excitement, a rare sight among the usually reserved Lizarians. Your people seem fascinated by our jury-rigged solutions, Volkov observed with what Ilara had come to recognize as subtle humor. The human concept of improvisation is illuminating, Ilara admitted. Our technological development has always prioritized perfection before implementation. The idea of deploying imperfect solutions and improving them through iteration challenges our fundamental approach. Volkov's face formed what Ilara now recognized as a smile, a human expression of satisfaction or amusement. Necessity breeds innovation. When you're fighting for survival with limited resources, perfectionism becomes a luxury you can't afford. Their tour was interrupted by an urgent communication. Captain Volkov to the bridge. Priority alert. The captain's demeanor instantly transformed, all traces of casual exchange vanishing. Follow me, she instructed Ilara, breaking into what humans called a run. Another energy-inefficient, but rapid form of movement. On the bridge, a utilitarian chamber that contrasted sharply with the Lizarians' flowing command centers. Tactical displays flashed with urgent data. Scourge vessel detected at extreme sensor range, reported a human officer. Configuration matches known scout class. Trajectory suggests it's conducting a sweep of the system. Volkov turned to Ilara, her expression grave. Your vessel needs to withdraw immediately. The Vengeance will engage and attempt to destroy the scout before it can report our position. The repairs to your propulsion systems are incomplete, Ilara objected. You cannot possibly outmaneuver a Scourge vessel in your current state. We don't intend to outmaneuver it, Volkov responded with grim determination. We'll use the asteroid field to mask our approach, then engage at point-blank range. Our remaining torpedo complement should be sufficient. Science Director Zoran, who had been analyzing human tactical data, interjected. Captain Volkov, our simulations indicate your plan has a 17% chance of success. The Harmonious Discovery possesses advanced stealth technology. We could approach undetected and deploy our quantum disruptors to disable the Scourge vessel's sensory apparatus. A moment of tension passed as the humans exchanged glances. Ilara understood their reluctance. The Lysarians had presented themselves as peaceful explorers, and now revealed military capabilities. Your vessel is not combat-rated, Volkov finally stated. The risk is unacceptable. With respect, Captain, Ilara countered, if the Scourge constitutes the threat you describe, then this conflict became ours the moment we entered this sector. We propose a joint operation. 30 minutes later, both vessels moved into position. The Harmonious Discovery had extended its crystalline stealth field to encompass the human warship, a technological feat that had clearly impressed the human engineers. The plan leveraged the strengths of both vessels, Lysarian stealth and precision targeting combined with human tactical experience and raw firepower. Scourge vessel approaching designated coordinates, announced the human tactical officer, her voice tense but controlled. Quantum disruptors charged and targeted, reported Zoran from the Lysarian vessel. On my mark, Volkov commanded. 3, 2, 1. Execute. The Lysarian quantum disruptors fired, invisible beams of targeted probability manipulation that caused the Scourge vessel's sensory systems to cascade into quantum uncertainty. Simultaneously, the Vengeance launched its remaining photon torpedoes into the now-blind target. What followed stunned the Lysarian observers. The Scourge vessel, rather than attempting to retreat when blinded, immediately launched a counterattack, firing blindly in all directions with weapons that seemed to disintegrate matter at the molecular level. Evasive pattern delta, Volkov ordered, and the human ship moved with surprising agility despite its damaged state. A beam grazed the Vengeance, vaporizing a section of its hull. Emergency force fields contained the breach, but several human crew members were injured. Second volley, target their weapons arrays, Volkov commanded, unshaken by the damage. The human torpedoes struck with precision, but the Scourge vessel continued to function. Their adaptive systems are compensating, reported the tactical officer. Regeneration in progress. Estimated recovery time. 2 minutes. Captain Volkov turned to the communication link with the Lysarian vessel. Do your quantum disruptors work on organic technology? Zoran hesitated. Theoretically, yes, but the effect would be unpredictable. Can you target their central mass with maximum disruption? Yes, but do it now and prepare to withdraw both vessels immediately afterward. Ilara gave the command, and the Lysarian vessel redirected all power to its disruptors. The beam struck the Scourge vessel's central mass, causing a cascade of quantum fluctuations throughout its organic components. Direct hit, Zoran reported. Their molecular cohesion is destabilizing. Now, Mr. Henderson, Volkov ordered. The human weapons officer activated what they had called a graviton implosion device. Technology the Lysarians had never encountered before. The device generated a localized gravity well of impossible density, tearing the already destabilized Scourge vessel apart at the molecular level. The resulting implosion was spectacular and terrifying, a demonstration of destructive power beyond Lysarian comprehension. As both vessels withdrew to a safe distance, Ilara watched the human crew's reactions. Where she expected to see triumph or relief, she instead observed grim determination and immediate focus on damage control and casualty treatment. These humans did not celebrate victory. They simply prepared for the next battle. Hours later, after the wounded had been treated with a combination of human medical techniques and Lysarian regenerative technology, Ilara and Captain Volkov met in what the humans called a conference room. "Your people performed admirably," Volkov acknowledged. "That quantum disruption technology is impressive. As was your graviton device," Ilara responded. "A weapon of last resort, I presume." Volkov nodded. "They're experimental and unstable. We've lost ships testing them. But against the Scourge, we need every advantage." "This encounter has been educational," Ilara stated, her bioluminescence pulsing with complex emotions. "My people have lived in peace for so long that we had forgotten what it means to fight for survival. You humans seem to carry that knowledge in your very cells." "It's not knowledge we wanted," Volkov admitted, her stoic facade momentarily slipping to reveal weariness. "Before the Scourge, we were explorers too. We had our conflicts, yes, but we were moving beyond them. The Scourge forced us back into our warrior past." Ilara considered this. "Perhaps that is why you survive where others might not. You remember what we have forgotten." "And perhaps that's why this partnership worked," Volkov suggested. "Your technology and our tenacity. Your precision and our adaptability." The implications hung in the space between them. Two species from vastly different evolutionary paths, each possessing what the other lacked. "The Lysarian Council must be informed of the Scourge threat," Ilara finally stated. "Our outer colonies lie directly in their projected path. We have no standing military, no defense systems designed for such an enemy." "The United Earth Alliance would be open to a formal alliance," Volkov offered. "We can provide military expertise, tactical training, weapons technology. In exchange, your advanced sciences could help us develop more effective countermeasures against the Scourge." As Ilara contemplated this proposal, she realized how profoundly this encounter had changed her understanding of the cosmos. The Lysarians had believed that advanced civilization inevitably abandoned warfare, that intelligence led naturally to peace. The humans, and the Scourge, had shattered that comforting illusion. Yet these humans, for all their martial capabilities, were not the mindless destroyers Lysarian philosophy might have predicted. They fought not from aggression, but from necessity. They killed not from hatred, but from determination to survive. And in that determination, Ilara recognized something the peaceful Lysarians had nearly lost: an uncompromising will to exist, to persist against all challenges. "I believe," Ilara stated, her bioluminescence shifting to a resolute gold, "that the Lysarian harmony and the United Earth Alliance have much to offer each other. The path ahead will not be easy for my people. We must remember ancient arts we have long abandoned. But perhaps with human guidance, we can remember how to fight without losing what makes us Lysarian." Captain Volkov extended her hand, a human gesture of agreement that Ilara had learned about in their cultural exchanges. As the Lysarian extended one of her 4 limbs to complete the gesture, a new understanding passed between them. Two species, separated by vast differences in evolution, philosophy, and technology, united by the most fundamental imperative of all life: survival. And in that moment, both leaders recognized a truth that would reshape their civilizations. In the vastness of space, with its infinite wonders and terrors, perhaps the greatest strength was not found in perfect harmony or relentless aggression, but in the unlikely alliance of both.